Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to a re-recording that I have to do of this episode because for some reason, and unfortunately I didn't watch it before I uploaded it, it got stuck on a pause screen somewhere, so that is what it is. But at any rate, we do get to miss all the fumbling around that I did in the original recording. To all those who watched some or most of the scuffed video, I do thank you for that, and hopefully this one will give you a little bit better visual representation of what I was talking about here. So now that we have a system with the Ars Nouveau spell turrets and automating getting our Fortune 4 ores real fast, we can now take those ore clumps and double them in a small, and I've got a nicely compact mechanism set up here. So we're just going to go through all of the machines here. Some of these I've already upgraded to factories because the original recording was almost a week ago at this point now. So I've been tinkering with it and increasing not only the speed but the efficiency at which all of these things run at now, because I've not only upgraded these to factories, but as I've also started installing upgrades in them as well. So to get the ore doubling, we'll need to put our ore chunks into the purification chamber. This guy here, purification chamber, requires oxygen to work. So to get the oxygen, we need the electrolytic separator. The electrolytic separator needs water in it to work to separate hydrogen and oxygen. And that's done with the electric pump down there. The electric pump, of course, needs a water source. And then we'll need a crushing machine into an enriching factory, into our smelting factory, and that will get our basic ores up over 5 times the original ore that I had mined with Silk Touch and then put through, because we got just around 2.5, which I believe is a low ball for getting Fortune 4 from. So we're getting over 2.5 times, definitely more than that. And I'm going to do a more thorough test here in the future with, say, 1,000 ores and see what kind of return we get, so we can get a little bit more accurate number on what we're actually getting from this setup here. But we'll go over the crafting here pretty quickly. The electrolytic separator is not too bad at all. We just need to make this electrolytic core, which is a little bit unrecognizable. And we just need to get these dusts, so we're going to have to make this crusher at some point anyways. So, and I don't have the crushing factory up here, so let's take a look at that as well. The crusher is just a steel casing, a couple of lava buckets, and a couple more of these basic control circuits. And then we feed that into the purification chamber. This one's a little bit more complex because we need an enrichment chamber to start. And then we need these advanced control circuits, which is the new thing here. But these are pretty easy into themselves because they're just a basic control circuit with a couple of infused alloys. So nothing too big there. We do need to get some logistical transporters because I couldn't get, in the original video, this purifying machine to pull directly from the vanilla chest. So I eventually had to put the logistical transporter on there. And the way I've got my compact set up here, I did need a couple of more to pull from the factory to this crusher to turn this corner here to keep it all in this configuration. You could run these all down a line if you wanted to, but this is the way I'm doing mine, so you have what you will. We will need to get a configurator, though, to change the push and pulls on the machines. Not too bad, just an energy tablet, lapis, and a couple of infused alloys for the configurator. And then you can just throw it into an energy cube to charge it up to get some power into it, because you will need a little bit of power in it to do any of the things. Let's grab it out of here and we'll just go over it slowly. Just beneath where my face is there, you can see the mode. It says configure items. That's the one that you'll need to be to do anything with the logistical transporters. These are the ones, the guys that transport items. They're made with a couple of steel and a basic control circuit, so nothing too backbreaking there either. But if you crouch and scroll wheel, you can change between all the different modes. Wrench mode basically means you can just one click and rotate machines if you want to. If you shift and click, you can break them instantly as well. So if you wanted to kind of clean up, if you wanted to reconfigure your whole system, then the wrench mode is what you want, and then you can break things real quickly and easily without worrying about taking the time with a pickaxe or whatnot. Then there's a rotate. This is a null mode, so you don't not going around and misclicking on things all the time and doing anything bad. It'll just do nothing basically. Then you can configure heat settings, energy settings, slurries, pigments, infused types, gases, fluids, and items. And again, these will work on the sides of machines as well if that's something that you want to do without going into the UI, which you find on the side config button here. So there's an items config, an energy config, and an infused type config here. A couple of the tricky things to note here. I've got the pump down there, the front of the pump, so when you put it down it will face towards you. The front of it will have the power input and the liquid will go out the top of it. So that's why I have this set up this way. And the electrolytic separator, the way its default setup is the blue output will go on the left and the cyan output will go to the right. And if we look at it here, this has got a cyan border, which is the oxygen, which that's going to the right, and the blue hydrogen. You'll need hydrogen for other things in the future, say charging up a jetpack, and there's other things in Mekanism that require hydrogen, so you may want that there. Just note that if you're not using it, you'll want to have this button over here clicked on dumping excess, because the machine will stop working if this tops out and it's not being pulled anywhere. The oxygen is being pulled into the purifying factory. It's just idle right now because there's nowhere else for it to go. So I just always put down the purifying factory facing the way I want my oxygen go out to the left. So, sorry. Electrolytic separator, to have the oxygen go out to the left to get into the purifying factory. Then I've got the side configured to output on the right, and then the logistical transporter. You just aim your configurator at the section that you want to change. And this is doing the color thing again. Crouch and thing, so it'll rotate between push, pull, and none, which kind of breaks the connection so that it's not doing anything. If you do that, then you have to kind of go back over to the face of the logistical transporter that you want to reconnect, shift and right click again. And we don't want anything on there because I don't want it pushing or pulling from the crusher here at this time. So that will go through the whole cycle of, let's just look at an iron chunk. Oh, I forgot to click on it and then hit uses. And we'll just take a look at going into the purification chamber. So one with some oxygen goes into 2 iron clumps. The 1 iron clump needs to be put through a crusher to turn it into an iron dust. The iron dust goes into the enrichment chamber to turn it into a regular iron dust. And then that you just cook. You can use the smelter, you can use a blast furnace, you can use create if you want to do it without any power use and whatnot. Now this whole setup I did actually get working and basically balanced not too well, not too bad. It was draining a slight little bit with 4 windmills set up, and the windmills actually do produce different amounts of powers depending on their Y level, which is kind of why I set my mechanism area up here. But it's not huge by any stretch of the imagination. I'm getting 58.38 here, where I think as if we take this guy, oh, no, no, no. I didn't mean to kill myself. I hit Control instead of Shift because of my belt of levitation. It's not an SJM video without a derp. That's absolutely a fact. Where'd my body thing go? It's up there. Oh, we're going to need blocks. So here I am derping all around. No, I don't want to sneak now. I want to run now, please. We should be able to get up there. Oh, and I'll fall down, of course, because I'm on camera. So we had 58.38 up at the top, and if we're down here at sea level, it's producing 18.76. So Y level does matter a little bit more than I thought, actually, now that we're talking about it. Let's just... Why didn't the sneak work coming down? That's so weird. This is why I always keep some of these X-Petrified orbs kicking around, or some redstone or lapis. Keep those ores kicking around in case I need a little bit of experience to be able to teleport around back to my death points. Where did I die this time? It's right... Is it up? Or is it down here? It was down, wasn't it? Yes. So we're 18 down at the bottom, we're 36 here. So yeah, it's actually is quite surprising how much more power these produce at higher Y levels. And now that it's, oh, I know why it didn't work, because these baubles do not automatically get refilled. That's what happened. And these are kitty slippers, not bunny hoppers. If you have the bunny hoppers, they'll stop all the falling damage. If I had bunny hoppers, I think I'd still probably prefer the kitty slippers, because I have the belt of levitation generally to stop myself from dying to fall damage, but the kitty slippers prevent those stupid creepers. This is one of my big nemesises. Nemesi always manage to get me. Creepers. Creepers be creeping. But yeah, that's the setup. Aha, you can't get me in here. So yeah, just an input chest. I just throw all my raw ores in there, and they'll get pulled into the system. And now that I've got most of these upgraded into the factory types, they've got the 3 slots on them. And from that just kind of, it increased the power consumption quite a bit. So I've actually put in some energy upgrades and why isn't it showing me the speed upgrades I've put in some of the... Oh, I haven't done speed upgrades yet, just energy upgrades. So I've got 3, I think I've got 3 in all of them. Yeah, 3 out of 8, and it's actually got a slight, even a little bit more than it was before I upgraded all of these to factories. And don't forget that you can also put the energy upgrades into your pump. And one of the bigger powered consumers was the electrolytic separator, but once you get the oxygen in there, it doesn't consume a whole lot because it's turning off most of the time each time it fills up the purifying factory. So that is the re-record and a few bonus derps for you all. I do appreciate you for checking out the video, and we will see you in the next one.